Hi Anya, this is just another way that we measure meat tenderness. It's the mechanical measurement of meat tenderness, so it's unlike our taste panel, but it correlates very well with the taste panel. It's called the Bratzler Shear force, and we basically have a shearing device, and if you feel it, you can feel that it's blunt, so it doesn't actually cut the meat. We then mount it onto the machine, and there's a load cell which brings it down at a particular speed, and then it measures the force required to shear through the meat. The force it measures it in is in kilograms, and it's done to an international standard, so we can compare it to international levels of tenderness. 4 is basically an acceptable level for consumers. Below that and around 2 is very good, and then when you start getting 5 and above, the meat is tough. So these are our samples that we're going to use to measure shear force, and I just want to show you how we prepare them. When we cut a piece of the meat off, you can see how the grain of the meat runs along like that, and we have to core parallel with that, so that once the cores come out, the grain of the meat is running parallel with the core, and then it gets sheared perpendicular to that core. So it's very important, otherwise we don't get the correct reading basically. So we just look and we line up our core, and the corer has got a sharp tip, so it cuts through. You can see the fibers run parallel, and we usually do 6 of these cores across the whole surface of the steak, because sometimes there can be variation, and what we then do is work out the average of the cores to get a tenderness reading. So now we've prepped the samples, and we put them into the machine, and the shear device will shear them perpendicular to the grain to give us the same sort of action that your incisors give you when you bite through the meat, and that will be measured by the computer in kilograms. Each time we do a sample, we put the sample number into the computer, we do the 6 cores, and then we end the sample, and the computer works out the average of those 6 cores to give us a tenderness score for that sample. So Anya, these are the results of your first sample, and it's of the unaged sample, and you can see the 6 peaks of the 6 cores that were measured, and at the bottom here they've given us the value in kilograms, and you can see it varies across the steak but not by very much, and you'll be very happy to know that everything looks more or less above, almost below 3.5, most of them, but all of them below 4, and by international standards 4 is acceptable to almost all consumers as being tender enough. Right, Anya, these are the results of your 14-day aged sample, and as you can see they're all in the low 2s. It's almost a full kilogram better than your unaged sample, and this overall value is very good and will be accepted worldwide.
Thank you.